We are live.
Greetings and salutations to all, and a blessed Samhain. This is the trio of friendship, of folklore, of magic and music and love to all. We, Alexander Cabot, Reverend High Priest for the Cabot Kennedy Hermetic Temple of Salem, Massachusetts, and also an elder here in New York City. And I'm here with my dearest friends, Susan Paramor from England, from Salisbury, and my dear friend from Sao Paulo, André Correia. And so the trio has commenced, and
Yeah,
this is a blessed Samhain um, edition for everyone, where we bring our knowledge and wisdom and we share them with everyone. So I want to bring the light and the balance of the universe with divinity itself. So I have anointed these candles, and I light with the maiden candle, or the working candle, some would say, with the goddess, female divinity of the universe, and then which is wisdom, and onto the god, male divinity, which is knowledge, bringing the harmony. Conjoined as one, bring blessedness. Blessed Samhain to all.
blessed Salvin, blessed
And
be.
so this is a wonderful moment in time and space that that we create from England and from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
São Paulo, Brazil.
This is wonderful that we bring in the light, the universal light among everyone, to share, to harvest, to glow, because this is a special time where this is the witch's new year, this is the Celtic New Year, this is a time of beginning where we honor our ancestors, we revere them, and that's the major focus of this Sabbath. So I wanted to bring a great elder and a fantastic author that is part of my life, which I adore, and her name is Doreen Valiente. So to some, she is the mother of the craft, mother of the modern day craft. But she is a amazing elder and practitioner that gave within the community and gave her love and magic. And she wrote this little passage that I always adore, called The Witch at Halloween. She passes through the village street as twilight shadows fall. The full moon climbs the winter sky. The trees are bare and tall. What is the secret that they share? Shadow and moon and tree, and little laughing breeze that makes the dead leaves dance with glee. They know their kin, the owl's cries, his greeting out to her. Now the last house and gardens past, the downs ridge rises bare, the climbing moonlit path she sees. That was a trodden road. Ere conjuring Rome or Norman proud, or Dowland ever strode, it leads to where beneath the turf the outlines she can trace of barrow end of scarred ring that mark the old god's place. The moon rides high, the years roll back, are with her garments shed. Naked she dances out the ring, first wrought by hands long dead. The blood leaps wild within her veins as Wifter spins the dance, her wide eyes fixed upon the moon, her senses wrapped in trance, and though no feet of flesh and blood walked with her to that ground, she knows she does not dance alone. The magic circle rounds. Blessings from Doreen Valiente.
Brilliant.
Merry Samhain, everyone.
Yeah, Mary Samhain. So, would you like to talk about the traditions that you have in America with
Well, we are an offshoot of the British Isles, obviously. Um, and America having its own culture and its own art form. One of the things that we are known for are the pumpkins. We are, obviously in in England, uh, the roots of the jack o' lantern is turnips. So the turnips,
turnips,
little gourd here for all, but the
Turnips.
turnips,
potatoes,
excuse
potatoes
me?
as well.
I guess potatoes, but what I learned is that the turnips were primarily from the British Isles, and they were the jack-o'-lanterns. They were the lanterns used, obviously, for this time of season. This is an awakening for all, because it's based on the old religion. Obviously, Halloween or All Hallows Eve is a Christian version of what Samhain is. Samhain being Gaelic. Is that from Brazil?
Yeah, yeah. This is from Brazil.
Okay, so Samhain, Samhain, or Samhain, or there's so many pronunciations, but I'm more of the Irish Samhain. So that's the true pronunciation of the word, and it means just the end of summer. And so it's the reverence towards the ancestors, the thinning of the veil. This is the time of season where we honor and we celebrate the new year. It's a new beginning and what we want to manifest to the new year. So this is something that, with the turning of the wheel, and of course there's differences with the balance of the southern hemisphere. They're going through Beltane, and
Yeah,
we're going through Samhain. So there's a huge difference, but it mirrors, and it brings that harmony and balance of energy within our planet, and also with our energies that we manifest towards this Sabbath. Here, obviously, Samhain in the southern hemisphere would be Beltane, La Bealtena. So this is something that we acknowledge, and there are two high holy Sabbaths that we revere, that people know about. Obviously, it's the one. It's the purging, the fire ritual. With Beltane, and of course Samhain with the death and the darkness. This is something that we transport ourselves and bring our higher consciousness towards the greater good for all. So may we actually honor that balance of the southern and northern hemisphere, with especially tonight that we have a dear friend of ours from Brazil, and
Yeah.
so the turnips, when they came to the Americas, the Americas was abundant with pumpkins. So pumpkin took over to what traditionally was a turnip and the jack o' lantern, and so the pumpkin has been a symbol of Halloween throughout the world, and especially like we have in Mexico, we have Dias de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. And why is that? Why it's just a coincidence that geographically ancestors, our ancestors, we didn't have that common denominator. Didn't have that connection. But in the Americas, especially in Mexico, the natives, uh, Mexicans, they honored their ancestors at the same time. How funny is that? That there is that correlation. And even when it came from the British Isles with Samhain. So that's something to think about. That's something to, honor, that it's part of humanity. It's part of our nature, our interpretation of spirituality. And
Maybe,
so, yes, ma'am.
maybe, maybe we traveled more than what people think. The Vikings
We
traveled.
could. The Vikings did. The Vikings were here before Christopher Columbus in the Americas, so they say.
Maybe we think that people didn't travel, but they did. They did
They did,
travel.
exactly.
But
I'd like,
I can I?
yeah,
Of course, you could interject.
Hello. I believe there's more that are the travel. I believe there is a collective inconscient. We have this feeling inside us, like something more instinctive. I believe that we feel the nature, and like in the Europe and the Mexico, the north influence, the climate, I don't know, temperature, the sun, the observation can bring this with us, and we can feel the same in something. We can feel the same spirit, and we can manifest this with the religion, the culture, all of this.
Absolutely. It's all about our interpretation, our humanity, our spirituality, and the link, of a collective consciousness. Like you said,
Yeah,
it's within us, the collective consciousness, and then a higher consciousness that we bring out, those that are spiritual leaders, and spiritual minds that gather together to
yeah.
bring forth the higher good. So,
And
can, oh, sorry. Can I read a poem that would probably be more for what the layman thinks we do? Okay. And
yes,
it was written,
please.
bring forth the understanding all the way from Salisbury, England,
oh, bring
the
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 fun.
poem. Yes, bring the
It was,
fun.
it was Sean Michael Rice, who's written the Cerridwen poems, which hopefully will bring on the show another time. And he wrote it for his children, and it's called Pumpkin Moon. The pumpkin moon is riding high, an orange ghoul, a witch black sky. Apples bob in a drunken stew, spells cast in a heathen brew. The pumpkin moon is a severed head, a wakeful spirit of the dead. The faithful heed the call to mass, or hallowed souls from darkness pass. Pumpkin seeds grow from the mud. The earth is soaked in pumpkin blood. The winds have summoned to the air beings buried by despair. The pumpkin moon is ancient fire, stoked by a sacrificial pyre. In a circle, spectres dance, naked in a frenzied trance. A highwayman has kept a tryst with murdered souls in the mist. Across the moor, their haunted cry, the pumpkin moon is riding high.
I love this poem.
Do you, Andre, would you like to explain some of this in Portuguese of what we've said so far?
I can't. I can try to translate this, but I will. You send me. I will try to translate, and I post on my Facebook.
Tienes que falar algo para comunicar qué es lo que estamos haciendo.
Sim. Porque a Susan acabou de ler um poema que foi escrito por um amigo dela para as crianças, para os filhos dela. E nós estamos falando sobre esse período que no hemisfério norte é celebrado o Halloween ou o Samhain, né? O Halloween como festa e o Samhain como período, né, do ano que nós vivemos. E aqui no hemisfério norte, no hemisfério sul, nós estamos passando pelo Beltane, mas nós estamos em comunhão com os nossos irmãos do norte e nós estamos falando sobre isso. Nós estamos falando sobre esse período. O Alex leu sobre um poema, né, da Doreen Valiente, e a Susan leu um poema de um amigo dela, e eu vou trazer depois esse poema, ela me mandou, vou traduzir e colocar no meu Facebook, porque é muito bonitinho, é muito gostoso, e vale a pena ser lembrado, ser observado. E esse momento é um momento onde a gente está trocando com esses amigos. Poxa, a Susan da Inglaterra, o Alex dos Estados Unidos, trazendo o conhecimento deles, falando sobre o folclore americano, como que o Samhain se transformou no Halloween, trazendo o conhecimento e sabedoria dela, e a Susan da terra, do original, trazendo muito, muito conhecimento, e tem mais coisas vindo por aí. Susan?
Exacto.
Do you agree, Susan?
Y estamos aquí para también reconocer que en Brasil se practica Beltane, la Beáltena, y eso es una cosa que es preciosa porque es el tiempo que ustedes están pasando esto allá en Brasil. Entonces estamos reconociendo Beáltena, y igual que aquí en Norteamérica con Samhain.
Aqui nós dissemos, Alex, que temos quem roda pelo sul e temos quem roda pelo norte, certo? E quem roda pelo norte se encontra com a egrégora dos nossos ancestrais, né? Trabalha com a energia de quem roda pelo norte com a egrégora dos ancestrais.
Exato.
Então,
the same energies that we are experiencing in the northern hemisphere, they're experiencing in the southern hemisphere. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the equality of energy flow with the Sabbats, that we are honoring the right that we acknowledge. So this is something that we're actually conveying to the audience at Portuguese, Spanish, and also English, to know that this is a trio of friends coming together within the Samhain season in the Northern Hemisphere, as well as Beltane in the Southern Hemisphere, but it's the same energies flow and the same ideology of reverence towards our ancestors. So this is amazing, amazing love and compassion that we have here today, all three of us.
I would like to ask you, Andre, about your feelings about the dark gods at this time, and I would like to talk later about the dark goddesses, but in particular, I'd like you to talk to me about Canonis, who you connect with.
Yeah. Talk about Cernunnos is Alex make me
But he's
jealous with this.
it's
I
not-
I will let this Cernunnos here.
This, I have to say that this little Cernunos,
Nunos.
Kernunos, there's so many pronunciations, but Kernunos, or whatever, came from England, came from London, from the Atlantic Bookshop, which was its legendary bookshop where Gerald Gardner, used to frequent. And many years ago, when I was in London, I actually went to visit for the first time the Atlantic Bookshop and bought this little iron imprint of Kernunos.
No.
I like
I've
it.
got I've got the same one as Andre.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do?
I received this one from Susan when she come to
That's
Brazil.
right. You are blessed to have such a great item.
Yeah, handmade.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, tell me your connection, Andre.
Susan, I when I'm when I start with the in the witchcraft and study all this, I don't know how, but I'm connected with Cernunnos like everyone talking about Cernunnos with happiness, like Cernunnos was a god of light and life and happiness, but I feel Cernunnos something more introspective. I always here in Brazil, when they talk about Cernunnos, they think Cernunnos is something more happy, more lighty, but I feel Cernunnos something more introspective, more dense, more darker. And Cernunnos is a god of the wild things, of the nature, of the animals, the wild animals. And Cernunnos is the feeling, the spirit of nature. In this time of the year in the north, Cernunnos is the symbol of Cernunno is more darker. It's something like one spirit more from, I don't know how to say. Alex, help me here. Espírito pouco mais sombrio, mas
Sí.
é um espírito que nos conduz para introspection. Something.
Bueno, es la energía masculina.
Yeah, yeah.
Cernunnos brings in the masculine divinity, brings in that balance of nature of the hunter, but it's much more the hunter, not nature, but within oneself. So Cernunnos being the balance of the nature of masculinity, of male divinity.
But
That's what
but
he's trying to relate.
but he's a dark god, but because he's not just the that one who brings life and fertility, but
Mm.
he's a wild god.
Yes.
He's strong, he's aggressive. He's not just the good father. He's the good father too, but not just this.
Destructive.
uh,
He's not tame. He's
yeah.
not there. No.
Yeah, his protection is aggressive. His spirit is strong. He's not something. I don't know. He's not something bonito de se ver, no? Alguma coisa
Sí,
muito
no, no es
leve, muito.
bonito, sí.
He's not tranquilo.
No es
He's a strong
tranquilo, es
God
bonito, es destrucción, es el
too.
balance. Sí,
Yeah, too. So as he is the life, he is the dead too.
yes.
He brings the dead to the balance, not to the destruct to finish the life. He brings the dead to bring the balance to.
Well, Cernunnos is also fertility.
Yeah,
Cernunnos at Beltane, the horn god, he brings fertility.
but to
He
have,
brings that among, life itself.
but to bring fertility in Beltane, he must to bring that in Samhain.
Correct.
We must to
Correct. Which is the
fertilate.
balance. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We must to fertilize the fields with the dead bodies to plant or weed later, or all of the plants, all of the food. We must to this field must be. I don't know how to say this. I must just
No,
to study
you
in
are
English.
no. You're conveying your message, and that is very correct. You're doing
Uh,
very well.
Yeah, the ancestors at this point in time, there's many things you can do to honor them. And I have a song here I'd like to do. Because you can set up a lovely little ancestor altar with photos. I've got my mother here. She's watching me today, my mother. So I have a little song that I think a lot of people would connect with at this time. This was composed in Brazil while Alex was there. So if you have a little candle or a torch or something like that, this is a song for our ancestors that have gone before us, and it's hope. There's hope in it. Don't be sad, for this will pass. Don't be sad, this will not last. Don't be sad, it's not all bad. Don't be sad, for this will pass, and we may lose a friend or two. This will stay with you, and we may lose a friend or two. They will be with you. Don't be sad, for this will pass. Don't be sad, this will not last. Don't be sad, it's not all bad. Don't be sad, this will not last. And we may lose a friend or two. This will stay with you, and we may lose a friend or two. They will be with you. I say thank you to my guitarist, Pete. So you might be sad at this time if you've lost somebody.
Thank you, Susan.
Susan,
But you will see hope in it. You will see that you are part of them, and you will move forward. So that is the message for that song. And you can honor your ancestors by putting either photographs of them on your altar and sitting with them and waiting for messages to come. Now, at this time, we also put candles in the window, white candles, to guide the spirits towards you, the spirits that you would like to come and speak to you. And some spirits that might be lost, and you can. So I still do this. I still put a candle in the window at this time. And there's many rituals that start 3 days before Samhain, going out, taking food and tipping wine or cider on the ground, and then laying a place. They call it a dumb supper, and laying a place for an ancestor, even if it isn't yours, for a spirit to come and be with you.
Correct.
So I start this more than 3 days ahead. I lay that plate there, and then giving some back to the land. And also at this time, you've been in your garden or you've got your potted plants, and you can make a little straw man, or if you want to make a goddess, and you put them in a place in your house of honor. And they're there all through the winter in a place of honor. And it can be you can make a little goddess. And I'm not very good at making these things. So, but they are still there as part of what I've had as a harvest. Might be made out of a tomato plant. It can be made out of anything. And it sits there in the winter. And then when Beltane comes, and this is where the connection comes, you put it out and you burn it for the next year, and that will help your seeds grow. So that's a very old tradition that we've performed in this country for a very long time, and honouring the gods and the goddesses in this way, and making little messages for guidance of the spirits to come towards you. Another thing you can do at this time of the year is go to a cemetery. And even if it's not your ancestor, you can go and lay some flowers on somebody's grave and you could talk to them. I quite like cemeteries. I'm never scared in a cemetery. It's only the living that can hurt you. Never scared. The other thing you could do is some divination, some scrying with a bowl of water or a dark mirror, basalt and tarot, and you could ask for guidance for the coming year. You can call upon the crone goddess and the horn god of nature and ask them reverently what to do with your time and to remember the old ones. So there are lots of, people think of winter as being the very dark time, but actually it's quite productive. You can
It's
do,
more.
yeah.
It's a love time to remember who goes. It's time to remember who we was and who we are now.
Yeah, I think like Alex, in America, you have a lot of witches' balls, don't you? They have dances.
It's just, yeah.
So
there's a lot of celebration, especially because here it is. I believe that we hyped the holiday, the Christian version of All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween today. And so this is a more Christian version of what the origins or pagan roots of Samhain. So, but we honor the old religion, obviously, and so we understand that Samhain being the end of summer and also the honoring of our ancestors and what the Celts and the Anglo-Saxons within the British Isles and throughout all of the Celts, Celtic Empire of Europe. So this is something that we understand. This is about reverence, knowledge, humanity, love, and our interpretation of spirituality.
Here in Brazil, we don't have the Samhain as a culture. We don't have this pagan past. So everything that we have here, we bring from the new paganism from Europe and United States. Well, here in Brazil, we have the Day of Dead, And this
The
happened
All
in November too.
Saints Day. It's the All Saints Day. These are Christianized versions of holidays that have been
Yeah,
part of the norm,
yeah,
and this is something that we understand. But where do they come from? They come
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah, yeah,
pagan practices. They
yeah.
come from the old religion. And
What?
so this is something that we as practitioners, we as
Exactly.
clergy, and also pagans, Wiccans, whatever you want to call yourself,
Yeah,
this is something that we understand where the roots come from.
yeah, exactly. Because here in Brazil, we are colonized by Christians. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we must to go to other country, to other culture to bring this to us, or remember or try to find something in our root, on our Indian roots, native roots here in Brazil. But it's so hard to find this. So we,
Amazonic, yeah, you have the Amazonic roots in Brazil
yeah,
as well as the diaspora of the
yeah,
African roots also
exactly.
in Brazil
But it's the same.
and the European,
Yeah,
but what our pagan Sabbats are based on the interpretation of what we've salvaged scholarly. We've salvaged these, eight Sabbats. Uh, they would practice four. The other four are not that high holy Sabbats. Others are, what I mean. So it's the balance of what
yeah.
we've made. We've actually were able to salvage
Hmm.
the scholars that have been able to save this sort of information of historic information of the
Yeah.
Sabbath. So
Uh,
yes,
uh,
Samhain, and then of course Beltane in the southern hemisphere. So
uh,
Susan,
it's a mirrored balance.
um, you want to ask me a question, Andre?
yes, Susan. Well, we are talking about the Samhain in England and talking about ancestors. Do you have some? How do you feel? How do you live your Samhain? Do you have some connection with your ancestors?
Well, yes. I'm going to show you a picture
Okay.
because this lady was a witch, and this lady, oh, I don't know. There we go. There she is.
Oh,
This lady was a witch, and her wishes were um, to have a pagan funeral. So there's not many practitioners who are pagan who can cope with a pagan funeral. Luckily, I have done several because some of the families might not be pagan, but they know that the person who's died is a pagan, and so I can go in and involve them and carry out the wishes of the person. And my lady mother was buried at Samhain, so I buried her at Samhain, and then I can pass her over, which I did that night. And instead of waiting the whole year to pass her over with her wishes. So I had the ceremony with the supper, with the empty plate, and Elisa was with me as well, and we did the whole lot, a very, very big ceremony that night. So for me, this time will be the first year without her, and I will be doing this passing over again at Samhain, as well as doing the pagan tribal gatherings, singing that night. But then she sang and she wrote, and she was a published poetess. So I guess I'm more getting stronger in the way that I know that I've got that connection, and I know she's not here and I can't speak to her on the telephone anymore, but I talk to her every day. So I feel that this is very much the same as the Mexicans. They're very strong with their ancestors, or even at All Saints or All Hallows Eve. They go and they sit around the graves and they have wine and they drink and they talk to them. And it's very a crossover between Catholic and Aztec.
Mhm.
It's a big crossover. So I actually liked being in Mexico because I feel about the same about my ancestor. And I was talking to someone about in days gone by, they used to bury their ancestors in underneath their house. And do you know what? I wouldn't have minded if my mother had been buried under my house. I would actually quite like that because there's that very, very strong connection. So I can understand going back in time when they used to keep their ancestors close to them because they felt they were close by and that they would get their knowledge. And
Correct.
it's about gaining the knowledge from your ancestors and not letting it go. So yeah, I am now the elder.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer the little young'un. So I am now the elder, and I had to come to terms with that. I had to come to terms with it. So we all have to go through it, the wheel of life, and my son will have to go through this as well. So I've got now a better understanding since this has happened to me. And it's not something I wanted to happen, but it's inevitable, isn't it? It's
Yes,
inevitable.
inevitable. Yeah.
Our time, we are 10 minutes away. So
So I
would
wanted
you
I
like to?
wanted to bring a little bit of a knowledge that I grew up with, and it's old Halloween. Here in America, old Halloween. So people don't understand that we are on the Gregorian calendar, and we used to
Yes.
be on the Julian calendar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Halloween would actually be November 11th rather than
Correct.
October 31st. So in the old days, October 31st would be honored as All Hallows Eve, Halloween, and it would be mostly for the kids to frolic, the kids to get their treats, to be, celebratory time for the children. But then it would be November 11th for those that are practitioners of the old craft, of the old religion, would be more towards November 11th. And
Yes.
this is a time where it is said that astrologically the planets are aligned. There is a lineage of planets on within this date, which is November 11th, that actually occurs where the thinning of the veil, where this is the true moment of ancestors, of communication, of connection with our ancestors. So this is something that I was brought up with old Halloween rather than All Hallows Eve being October 31st, which is resides on the Gregorian calendar and of course the Julian calendar, which was the first. So I'm glad to share that with you, everyone out there.
Did you know that Aaron was born very close to that?
Oh,
November
he
the
did.
mm,
November, close to the November 11th,
9th. The
9th.
9th.
Wow.
And 9 is my lucky number. It's all 9999.
999 is very, well, 9 is very spiritual. It's
Yeah.
it's about the dead, it's spirit.
Yeah, niners. I was born on July the 9th myself.
Yeah,
I
nine
think
is very spiritual.
we'll do a song.
Please.
You know this. And thank you for sharing that. You're a very knowledgeable man, Mr. Alexander.
Not me. No, there's others that are more, but whatever
Where
little bit of knowledge I could share, it's within love for all.
When you put your glass, you're very.
we can make out. This is actually this is a Celtic prayer. He's not gone to sleep, my. So, this is called Deep Peace, and I think you have heard it before. But thank you, everybody who's going to be looking in. I'm going to do a little advert for André. André has got a new CD out, and
Yes.
I'm so happy he's done this.
Oh.
Oh, was that
It sure does. This is a Portuguese and
Yeah.
brilliant amalgamation of songs, pagan songs that he brought together. And this is an enormous feat of work that he did.
I'm really,
Yeah.
really pleased.
So show everyone.
And
Oh, this.
Come on, show everyone.
Tambores sagrados. So it's
Let me
sacred
show.
drumming.
Look this, Susan.
The translation is sacred drumming.
Oh,
And it's from André Correia, and it is an amazing feat of art and towards the community, obviously in Portuguese to the Brazilian community of Wicca and paganism. So I congratulate him on this amazing work that he did.
The songs in English. This drum was a gift from André, so I'm going to sing this song, which is going to go on my new CD at some point. So here we go. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the shades of night to you. Moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the shades of night to you. Moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light, moon and stars shining bright, moon and stars giving light. Peace, deep peace, deep peace.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you, Pete.
Beautiful.
Come in here a minute, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Hello, Pete. Thank you.
Hello,
Oh,
Pete.
there's a guy there. Oh,
I couldn't play the guitar and sing and play the drum. What do you think?
it's not a playback. There's a guy there.
No, it's not a playback. Thank you so much, everybody. I really hope that we've given some hope to people who've lost people, especially at this time, which we've hardly mentioned, the pandemic. And we've given some knowledge from all over the world. And what you said, Alex, that connection between the Beltane and the and Samhain.
Correct.
There's lots more to talk about on the subject, but our time has finally come to an end tonight. So, André, thank you so much for setting this all up.
Yes, it's a trio of friendship, folklore, music, magic, and love. And I'm happy to be with all of you and to express, the festivities. Unfortunately, we are going through these uncertain times with the aftermath of the pandemic. And we don't know about if there's a second wave, which I don't think there is. But if, we have the control. We have the control within ourselves, and hopefully that there will be a balance.
So
and I hear that the vaccine will be out in December for COVID.
And let's all drink to that. Samhain blessings to you all. Thank you so much.
Blessed Samhain, and honor your ancestors. As we honor our ancestors, we honor ourselves. May we be the light unto darkness, so we may be the balance of the universe. Blessings to all.
Blessings to all. Thank you. Thank you,
André. Can I talk something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something out of the subject, but I want to thank you two. Next week, I don't know, Alex, help me here. Eu vou lançar o CD.
He's going to have the CD, launch the CD.
Yeah, and you both are so important to me, and you don't know idea. This is in the in card in the CD. I write this is on the CD. Alex changed all my view of the witchcraft, and Susan changed all my views on about the drums. I feel more stronger make drums now. Before I know her, I renew my faith when I know you both. Thank you so much. You both don't know idea how much you are important to me and to my family.
You're gonna make me cry.
You both are so important to me. You don't know idea.
You are important to me because you're a dear friend and brother, and so that's what this is the harmony of this trio. Of friendship, of music, of magic, of love, of witchcraft, of everything in life. It's humanity itself, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Well, blessing be. I'm going to have some chocolate now.
Well, give me some because I have no chocolate here. Send it over the pond. Send some chocolate over the pond. Some English chocolate.
Oh! We don't. Can I put something here? And you can hear. I love it, Susan, from Patricia here in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Vanessa, send us hearts.
Vanessa Justo. Obrigado.
You think here's the chocolate.
Tata, hola, querida. Un abrazo y besos.
Eddie, oh, and Susan,
Oh, Eddie, my
Susan,
dear host.
look how much chocolate Susan has.
My dear host from this old witch.
Yeah,
Bought
Listen
it.
to your three. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Eddie.
my brother, Renan.
Correa, otro. Otro Correa.
Eddie Master. Well,
John Marcos, say hello.
Oi.
Ashley,
¿Cómo va? Ashley! Besos.
hello, Ashley.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Nikki,
Nikki! Thank you. Obrigado.
I will say beiju, bagels.
Bagels. Bagels. That's a Jewish American thing. Bagels.
I wanted bagels.
Bagels. Coffee talk.
Oh, he was saying bagels when he said goodbye, and it's beiju.
Bagels. Bagels.
Oh, I love you, my English lady.
Yeah, we will meet again, and we will have another. Are we still live?
Yes, we are still live. Yes.
I want
bagels,
to
flagels, nanagels.
Let's finish this. Bye.
I love
Someday.
you. I love you too very much from the bottom of my heart.
Me too.
I want my holiday with you again.
Yes, we are. We're going back to Brazil in March. We're going to Peru.
My home is open to you both.
Okay, thank you so
Bagels.
much.
We're going to have a great experience, Sue.
Bagels.
Bagels.
Buenas noches.